Good morning. Welcome back to the Chicala Kitchen. I'm Patty. I have to thank you guys. I made a request yesterday during a day in the life video and I said, send me any requests. Holy cow, my DMs blew up last night. And I will be going through all of them and hopefully try to get to a lot. In the meantime, this recipe has been one of my most requested lately. Former customers of mine have asked for it. I used to sell a lot of these. It was actually a favorite of one of my sons. It was actually a favorite of a lot of the kids. The kids' friends that they brought home from school all love this. This is an old school whoopie pie recipe. Whoopie pies, there's a lot of stories about where they originated. I think the most common story is with the Amish. So it is an old school recipe, but put a little bit of a modern twist on it. I'm doing Oreo whoopie pies, and they are so good. Now, typically they're quite large. A whoopie pie is quite large. I am making this for a department at the hospital, and we found that the really large ones we tended to cut in half anyway, so I'm gonna be making them a little smaller, more like a big cookie. So come on, join us. This is really good. Old school whoopie pies were made with shortening. I personally use room temperature butter. Years ago, before they started telling us that everything was bad for us, they used shortening. So your choice what you'd like to do. I have a half a cup in room temperature in the mixer. I've got 1 cup of packed brown sugar going in there. And I'm going to just blend that up. A little bit. Okay. Oh my goodness, got stuck in there. I'm going to add 1 egg and whip it up again. Now, what I have here is 2 cups of all-purpose flour with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda whisked in. And I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. I'm gonna just give that a quick whisk in. It's gonna get mixed up in the mixer anyway. My oven, in the meantime, is preheating to 350 degrees. I have 1 cup of milk here. And I use vanilla bean paste, as I've said in many, many videos. I buy in bulk. You can use regular vanilla, a teaspoon, more or less. I kind of eyeball that and just whisk it into the milk. And what we're going to do is we're going to alternate the dry ingredients and the milk until it's all combined. So, here we go. A little bit of dry. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of the milk. Keep my handy dandy spatula and just scrape down the sides and from the bottom so you know everything's getting mixed in. There we go. A little bit more dry. And I'm going to pour in a little more milk. This is going to be kind of a thickish batter. The last of the dry. There we go. I have to tell you, these were such a favorite with my kids, with their friends, and actually, they were an absolute favorite of my ex-husband's. And the last of the milk. I want to make sure to get all that vanilla in there. Okay, so I'm going to scrape this. I have a couple of baking sheets with parchment paper, and I'll bring you over there and we're going to get them set up. Okay, so if you want to make these like traditional whoopie pies, the big ones, you're going to use a 1/4 cup of batter. I am using a scoop that's about 2 tablespoons, so it's like half of that. All I'm going to do is scoop and drop on the cookie sheet. Now remember, however many you get, you'll actually have half that number because these are sandwich cookies. Okay. All right. Leave a little bit of room for spread. I'm going to put probably 8 on this sheet. So there's 6. Again, this is the first time I'm making these since we've come to this house. Hopefully this oven will be somewhat reasonable. I have found that sometimes it runs a little hot, but we shall see. Okay. If you're doing regular size whoopie pies, it's 15 minutes. I'm going to start keeping an eye on these at around 12, and I will let you know how long they take. See you in a bit. Okay, so 12 minutes was enough. You just need to feel that they're firm on top. They're kind of firm. I personally leave them on the paper while they cool so the bottom doesn't dry out. And we're gonna let these cool completely. I have the second batch in the oven. When everything is all cool, then we'll be back for the filling, which is what makes these so super special. See you later. Hey, we're back. So, time to make the filling for those Oreo whoopie pies. Guys, this is so good. Okay, we have a stick of cream, a 8-ounce block of cream cheese, cold. Does not have to be room temperature. This should be cold. In the mixer, whip attachment. I have a generous half cup, like a rounded half cup of sugar in. And a pinch of salt. Here I have 1.5 cups of heavy cream. I have a half of a family size package of Oreos. I put them in a 1-gallon Ziploc bag, shut it, and went over it with a rolling pin. Some of it's crushed very fine. There's a few larger pieces left in here. When they're in the filling, as it sits over time, they're going to soften and become kind of amalgamated into the filling. So good. Okay. I have about a teaspoon of vanilla I'm going to throw in there. And we're going to start by just whipping together the cream cheese and the sugar. And then I'm going to slowly start running the heavy cream down the side of the bowl and whipping that in. Wait till you see how it comes out. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to start adding the heavy cream. There we go. Now, I'm going to turn this off I'm going to use a spatula and scrape up everything from the bottom and then whip it on high. Hang on a second. Here we go. And go. I'm going to have the Oreos ready to mix in. I've got my paddle attachment because when this is whipped, we're going to use the paddle. I'm going to turn this up. We're going to use the paddle attachment to fold in the Oreos. Check this out. It's getting there, almost done. So good. Another 30 seconds or so. Okay. Now you can see how stiff this is. There we go. I'm going to fold that all in. I'm going to add most of this. I'm going to hold a little bit back just in case. It might be too much. There we go. Check it out. Oreo filling. Let's go fill those cookies. Okay, now you can easily do this with a spoon. My preference is to use these disposable pastry bags. I'm not even going to put a tip on it. I'm just going to cut the end off. There we go. Flip over, peel them right off. Now I will tell you, when you store these, don't stack them on top of each other because they will stick together. This is soft and cakey. It's a whoopie pie. So here we go. Here. There we go. Sometimes the cookies kind of block up the tip and then it will all pour out at once. Just push it out. Very easy to do. Remember, you're doing every other one. These are sandwich cookies. Oops. Yep. Okay. So what we're going to do is put them together. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to add a little bit to that one. You want them nice and full. Let's see. I'm going to add a little to all of them. Okay. Check that out. Is that beautiful? Let me tell you, your kids will love you forever and ever and ever. My husband is going to be a happy camper. He's got a bit of a sweet tooth, and these will be amazing. Oh, you know what? I did one too many. Oh, well. I will take it from the next batch. There we go. When I'm done with all of them, we'll be back, show you the finished product, and I hope you make these and love them as much as my family does. Here we are. Check this out. Are these gorgeous? Look at that. Tell me your family's not going to love that. Now remember, these were done with a 2 tablespoon scoop, so you can just imagine If you use the full quarter cup to make full-size whoopie pie, they're going to be twice this size. So think about that. It was 12 minutes in the oven, was perfect. I think you're going to love these. Now I'm going to cover them with some saran wrap, put them in the fridge to sit till my husband gets home. My daughter's coming over tonight, and I think they are going to be in chocolate Oreo heaven. Buon cibo, buon amici, good food, good friends. Enjoy, and please come back and join us. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Bye.